If you don't organize your life, chaos will organize it for you. Written and published by Q Vibe. How many times have you felt trapped in that endless routine where you run from one place to another, but at the end of the day, you feel like nothing made sense? You get up late, improvise, put out fires, and when night falls, all that's left is exhaustion and frustration. It seems normal, even inevitable, because we all live like this. Or do we? Here's the twist. This disarray isn't a product of fate. It's the consequence of not having a plan, of not forcing yourself to put your time, your spaces, your thoughts, and even your relationships in order. And although it sounds harsh, no one will come to save you. No one will take care of your chaos. Either you do it, or it will end up consuming you. In this audiobook, you'll discover how order isn't rigidity but freedom. How every small habit, every conscious decision can become the key that unlocks the door to inner peace, real productivity, and a life with purpose. But be warned, what you'll read here isn't just simple advice. It's a challenge that will force you to look in the mirror and make decisions you may have avoided for too long. So listen to the end, because what's coming could change the way you face your days. And before we continue, tell me in the comments, do you feel your life today is closer to order or chaos? Your answer could be the first step toward that transformation. Chapter 1. No one will come to save you. Listen carefully. No one will appear to rescue you. It won't be your partner, your parents, your boss, your friends, or even fate. No one will arrive at your door with a magic solution to fix the chaos in your life. If you keep waiting for everything to magically change, get comfortable, because you'll be waiting forever. Want something to improve? Force yourself. No one will do it for you. Stop blaming a difficult childhood, lack of time, financial problems, politics, incompetent bosses, your ex, anxiety. Enough. Yes, all of that exists. No one denies it. But your suffering is no excuse to give up. If you don't take the reins, who will? The basic principle of Stoicism is tough, but also liberating, taking full responsibility. And that doesn't mean carrying the guilt, but recognizing your power. You can't control what happens outside, but you can control how you react, what you do with what happens to you. Whether you fall or get up, whether you stagnate or move forward, depends only on you. Are you dissatisfied with your body, your job, your relationships? Take action. Are you afraid, doubtful, tired? Welcome. It's normal. Move forward anyway. Taking charge isn't easy. It will hurt. It will shatter your ego. It will leave you standing in front of the mirror, naked, with a single question: what the hell am I doing with my life? Let me give you an example. Pedro, 33, has been in a job he hates for 7 years. He lives with his partner, but the relationship is lifeless, lacking spark. He complains about his job, his relationship, the lack of time. He spends his nights watching TV series or scrolling on his phone to distract himself. On weekends, he takes refuge in alcohol and food. He waits for signs, for life to send him a message. But nothing will happen. Nothing changes if he doesn't change. And you, if you recognize yourself in Pedro, already know what's required. Move, or keep sinking. Taking responsibility means turning off the excuses and turning on the action. It means accepting that every present action shapes your tomorrow. Every decision carries weight. There is no neutrality. You either build or you destroy. Force yourself to get up earlier, to tidy your surroundings, to reject what drags you down. Force yourself to learn, to step out of your comfort zone, to stop acting like a victim. Force yourself to see your flaws with absolute honesty. Does it hurt? Excellent. Pain is the gateway to transformation. There is no growth without discomfort. The Stoics knew this. You don't choose the storm, but you do choose whether you bend or advance upright. Marcus Aurelius didn't have an easy life either. He ruled in times of war. He lost children. He suffered betrayals. What did he do? He became one of the most influential philosophers in history because he chose to embrace his destiny. He didn't wait to be rescued. He understood this. If your spirit is strong, chaos won't break you. So stop looking to the heavens for answers. Stop seeking external validation. Stop begging for attention, approval, permission. No one is going to push you. No one is going to do the work for you that you refuse to do. Life owes nothing to anyone, and you can't keep owing anything to yourself either. Ask yourself this question now. In what area of your life are you still waiting for someone to come and save you? Write it down, look at it without masks, and then erase it, because that waiting is a trap. True freedom begins when you understand that everything depends on you. You are the creator of your order or the ally of your chaos. You decide whether you move forward or crawl. You decide whether your life will have meaning or be a list of excuses. The decision is yours. It always has been. So before we continue, make a declaration that compels you to act. In the comments, write, I am forcing myself to organize my life, and I will not wait any longer. Why? Because saying it out loud, putting it in writing, is the first step toward your transformation. By making a public commitment, you confront yourself and your own resolve to change. It's a way to reprogram your mind, to make your words become actions. It's not just writing, it's acting. Chapter 2. Your time reveals who you are. Observe your day. Just observe it. From the moment you wake up until you close your eyes, pay attention to every choice, every habit, every distraction, because that's where the truth lies. Not in what you dream about, nor in what you declare, nor in what you plan to accomplish at midnight. The reality of who you are lies in how you use your time. You are not what you say you want. You are what you do over and over again every single day. You claim you want to be disciplined, but you hit the snooze button 5 times. You say you want to start a business, but you spend 3 hours a day getting lost on TikTok. You aspire to be fit, but your dinner boils down to ultra-processed foods and self-pity. The way you manage your time reveals your truth more powerfully than any words. Your calendar is the most honest mirror you have. And yes, sometimes that reflection hurts. Be fiercely honest with yourself. What are you spending the one coin you can never get back on? Stoicism is merciless. Lucidity. It doesn't caress. It doesn't console. It reminds you that time is life. Social media, endless series, complaints, empty conversations, toxic comparisons. If you don't take control of your time, someone else will. And believe me, there are thousands of companies, people, algorithms, and systems waiting for you to keep acting like a directionless automaton. Don't become their slave. You weren't born to be distracted until you die. Want to truly know someone? Don't ask them what their ambitions are. Ask them how they spend their mornings. Ask them what they do when no one is watching. That's where their essence lies. Because in the silences, in the routines, in the small, almost invisible habits, destiny is shaped. Want to transform your life? Don't start with grand plans. start with your next hour. That exact hour in which you can learn something new, make progress on that project you always postpone. Go out and exercise, read, write, build. Or you can use it again to escape, numb yourself, distract yourself. You don't need more motivational speeches. You need structure, discipline, intention, and above all, boundaries. Limit yourself. Recognize your impulses. Name the time thieves. Identify the urgent things that only drag you away from what's important. The big lie today is that you don't have time. The truth is that you're giving it away to what helps you grow the least. And the cost of that is an existence without direction, without progress, without true power. Do it now. Examine your day without disguises. Write down your hours. Be brutally honest. Ask yourself, does this bring me closer to the person I want to be? If the answer is no, change it. No drama, no regrets. Just change it, because your time is your life, and the way you spend it is shaping who you are, whether you accept it or not. Don't wait for fate to move. Move yourself. Change your day, change your hours, and you will transform your story. Chapter 3. Your rituals guide your existence. The way you begin and end your day sets the course for your life. It's not your goals, your future vision, or your good intentions that do this, but your rituals, what you choose to do in those first and last moments of the day. When everything is silent, when no one expects anything from you, when it's just you and yourself, reveals your true focus and where you direct your energy. What you practice when no one is watching is what determines who you are when everyone is looking. If you wake up without purpose, check your phone, eat the first thing you find, rush out late and frustrated, you've already set yourself up for a chaotic day. At the end of the day, you watch videos you don't even remember, ending up with an exhausted mind, confused thoughts, and without closure for the day. This is how you teach your body and your inner self to live scattered and aimless. Disorder doesn't start outside. It arises from a lack of structure, and that structure depends on your daily rituals. They understood that life isn't controlled, but it is prepared for. Seneca wrote at dawn and reflected at the end of the day. Force yourself to design rituals that remind you who you are and what you are building. Wake up without looking at your phone. Your mind, upon opening your eyes, is fragile. And if the first thing it receives is external noise, you've already lost control. Instead, take a notebook and write down what you expect from this day. What do you want to achieve without excuses? What could go wrong? How will you respond with character, and what attitude will you maintain no matter what happens? Then move your body. You don't need a gym. Do push-ups, walk, stretch, but do it mindfully. Activate your system and then read. Something that stimulates your mind, not lulls it to sleep. Philosophy, biography, ideas that remind you of the person you are trying to be. If you don't program yourself, the world will. And the world doesn't prioritize your interests. At night, disconnect. Turn off your screens. Most people fall asleep with overstimulated minds, consuming digital junk right before trying to rest. That's not living. That's just surviving. Before ending the day, reflect. Write down what you did well, what you avoided doing and why, where you let yourself down. And most importantly, what will you improve tomorrow? Then reread. A single page is enough if the content is powerful. It's not about quantity, it's about depth. Finish with breathing. 5 minutes is enough. Breathe, return to yourself, and allow yourself to end the day with presence. This transforms sleep into preparation, not escape. Don't live by improvising. Don't start on autopilot or end feeling broken, devoid of purpose. Design your beginning. end consciously. And repeat. That's where true change lies, not in a grand decision, but in what you silently repeat every day. Turn your greatness into a ritual. Protect your beginnings, honor your endings, and you'll see how chaos loses its power. True order isn't born from a schedule. It's born from a decision, and that decision is renewed every morning and every night. Without excuses, do it today, and if you fail tomorrow, pick it up again. If you forget for a week, remember and start over. Don't give up, because every time you choose your ritual over impulse, you choose yourself over the chaos. And in that instant, even if no one notices, you're becoming unstoppable. Chapter 4. Your space reflects your mind. Look around you. Really do it. Observe your room, your desk, your kitchen, your car, your backpack, your phone. What do you find? Piles, trash, things scattered about, papers you haven't used in months, drawers you don't even dare open. If this is your first time on my channel, please subscribe and like the video. This way, I can continue creating more content like this in the future. That's your mental state projected onto the physical, and there's no way around it. The place you live is a visible mirror of your inner world, whether you like it or not. It's impossible to have clarity if you're surrounded by chaos. You can't think clearly if all you see around you is noise and disorder. Do you want calm? Start by sweeping. Do a serious clean. Throw things away. Break them. Discard them. Don't do it for aesthetics. Do it for your mental stability. Clutter steals your energy, distracts you, and poisons you. It's like living with thousands of open eyelashes in your head, all talking at once. And then you wonder why you feel anxious, blocked, and unmotivated. You don't need therapy for that. What you need is a broom and determination. Have you noticed that when you clean a space, you feel relief, as if the air is circulating more freely? It's not a coincidence. It's biology. Your nervous system reacts to the environment. A dirty place, cluttered with misplaced objects, is interpreted as a constant threat. It's a permanent reminder of what you haven't resolved. It's noise, and sustained noise transforms into tension, anxiety, and paralysis. You don't need a perfect house. It's not about luxury, but about order. About everything having a place, and that place having meaning. About learning to let go. What you don't use uses you. What's useless gets in the way. What you keep without reason weighs you down. You must understand that everything you keep without purpose is a burden. You drag along memories, pointless attachments, old versions of yourself that no longer have a place in your present. And I'm not just talking about the physical, your digital desktop, your email, your image gallery. Your someday I'll read this list also count, because they also produce noise, and that noise drains your attention, your energy, your will. Force yourself to clean, not as just another chore, but as an act of power, a ritual of rebirth. Everything you eliminate gives you back mental space. Every organized drawer shows you that you can bring order, that you can regain control, that you can live with intention. Do it without mercy. Haven't used it in a year? Out. Does it remind you of a stage you're no longer in your life? Out. Is it just there out of habit? Out. Tidying isn't decorating. It's deciding what you want to live with. And that decision is spiritual. Because when you clean your space, you cleanse your mind. When you organize your external environment, you heal your internal one. Your desk should inspire you to work, not to escape. Your bedroom should help you rest, not to lose yourself. Your kitchen should nourish you, not confuse you. Every corner of your environment should function as a tool, not an obstacle. If it doesn't, fix it. Do it today. One area, one drawer, one folder, one corner. You don't have to finish everything at once, but you do have to start. Because every space you clean is a piece of your mind you reclaim. Every object you let go of is one less weight you carry. Every act of tidying is a declaration. I'm in charge here. And when you govern your space, you begin to govern your life. External order isn't a luxury. It's self-control. It's respect for yourself. Do it because your mind needs space, and you won't find that space in an app, a book, or a meditation. It's there, hidden beneath all that clutter that no longer defines you. Chapter 5. If you don't organize your life, you'll repeat the clutter. Most people don't have a bad destiny, but a bad system. They lock themselves into a rutless routine, running around all day without making any progress. Does this sound familiar? You're busy, but you're not productive. You do a lot, but you don't build anything solid. You get up, you survive, you put out fires, you wear yourself out, and at the end of the day you feel like nothing you did mattered. And that's not a matter of luck. It's a lack of planning. If you don't plan, chaos repeats itself. Don't let your mind wander into the future or get stuck in the past. Master the present. Use your reason to act with intention. And that intention begins with a plan, a map, a structure. Without it, you're like a ship adrift. You might sail, but you'll never reach a port. Many believe that planning is rigidity, that it kills spontaneity, that it confines you. But the opposite is true. Planning is freedom. Because by choosing your focus and deciding what truly matters, you stop being a slave to the urgent and begin to build with clarity. The real chaos isn't doing too much, but doing without direction. Planning doesn't mean filling your schedule with tasks. It's about selecting what's essential, looking at your week, and asking yourself, what truly drives my life? What do I need to create to move closer to my vision? What should I eliminate, delegate, or abandon? Because you also plan what you're going to ignore. And here's the hard part. If you don't do it, someone else will. Your boss, your friends, your family, society, algorithms, everyone has a plan for you if you don't have one. They'll fill your time with tasks that seem urgent, that appear important, but that pull you away from what you truly desire. And when you realize it, years will have passed, and you won't know how you got there. Keep it simple, but do it seriously. Every Sunday, dedicate time to planning your week. Don't start Monday without a clear vision. Define 3 priorities, not 10, 3. The ones that truly matter. Then distribute them into blocks of time and protect them like your own life, because they are. Review it every night. Ask yourself if you accomplished it, if you got sidetracked, if you fell back into chaos. Adjust, improve, and repeat. Don't plan from desire, but from commitment. Don't write read if you won't do it. Don't write go for a run if you won't follow through. Planning isn't dreaming on paper. It's committing to execution. It's designing a daily battle against mediocrity. It's crafting your day like an artisan who knows what they're shaping. Do it today, not tomorrow, not when you have less work. Because if you don't plan your life, chaos will do it for you. And chaos doesn't understand compassion, only repetition. Chapter 6. Nourish your mind with intention. Your mind works like a sponge, and what it absorbs determines who you are. What you consume not only in terms of food, but also what you watch, listen to, read, and experience shapes your thinking, your emotional state, and ultimately your life. So ask yourself, what are you allowing into your mind? Because if you're not aware of what you're letting in, the world will do it for you, and not necessarily with your well-being in mind. Digital noise has become the most silent and persistent enemy. We live exposed to an endless flow of information that no one asked for, that adds nothing valuable to your life, but that seeps into your mind and saturates it with chaos. Notifications, social media, news, ads, memes. How much time do you spend each day scrolling through content that doesn't really interest you, but you consume it simply because it's available? How many times have you stopped to watch something that, when you think about it later, only leaves you more distracted, empty, or discouraged? What you consume is what your mind ends up processing. And if all you ingest is noise, your brain will be trapped, preoccupied with what you can't control, comparing itself to unreal people, making decisions based on momentary impulses instead of on solid foundations. That's not strategy. Those are just reactions. And living by reacting to whatever appears before you is like being a puppet moved by invisible strings. If you don't choose wisely what you feed your mind, if you don't care for it as you care for your body, you'll end up accumulating emotional and mental toxins. You'll lose focus, clarity, and control. And when you notice, the chaos will no longer just be around you, but inside you, in your own thoughts. Your mind will become a wild terrain controlled by distractions and noise. The time has come to design a mental diet. In the same way that you carefully choose what you eat to keep your body healthy, you should do the same with the content you allow into your mind. It's not enough to want to change. You need to be intentional about what you consume. You must protect your attention with the same seriousness with which you would safeguard your health. The first step is to eliminate the obvious. Empty content. Things that steal your time without giving you anything of value. Hours wasted on aimless social media. News that only generates fear and anxiety. Gossip. Pointless arguments. Manipulative advertising. All of this is junk food for the mind, and it needs to be expelled. Then, start including quality mental nourishment. What do you want to cultivate in your mind? Wisdom? Read books that challenge you, that broaden your perspective. Clarity. Listen to podcasts that allow you to better understand, acquire skills, and improve your focus. Emotional strength. Dedicate time to philosophy, to exploring the thoughts of those who have overcome difficulties and found serenity amidst chaos. Keep it simple. You don't need to read 20 books in a week or listen to 10 podcasts a day. What's important is the intention, that every minute of mental consumption has a purpose. Choose sources that uplift your mind, protect your inner space. Give your mind what strengthens it. Don't let the noise overwhelm you. Make your mind work for you, not against you. If you don't nourish it with what's right, you'll end up being part of the clutter, part of the crowd living on autopilot, reacting to everything and everyone. But if you take what you consume seriously, you'll transform into someone who creates, who builds, who steers their own destiny, who overcomes distractions and focuses their energy on what truly matters. Start today, not tomorrow. Don't let the digital noise steal another moment of clarity. Feed your mind with intention, because only by controlling what you let in can you control what comes out of you. And that's when your life begins to transform. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with connections that keep you in tune. The people you choose to share your life with have an enormous impact on your journey. It's not just about companionship, spending time together, or superficial conversations. Relationships are currents that direct your energy, shape your habits, and, above all, configure how you perceive the world. If you don't choose clearly who you allow into your life, you end up letting your environment decide for you and lead you to places you never chose. Think about it carefully. Who is the person who motivates you? Who challenges you to improve yourself? Who is there for you without judgment? And who, on the other hand, sabotages you with their negativity, their complaints, or their fears? The circle that surrounds you influences you much more than you realize. Every conversation, every encounter, every shared moment impacts your mood, your way of thinking, and everything you achieve. And here emerges an uncomfortable truth that many prefer to avoid. Harmful relationships aren't only those with people who mistreat or disrespect you. Toxic relationships are any connection that drains your energy, pulls you away from your dreams, and makes you feel smaller, more limited, or lost. They are the people who bring not clarity, but noise and distraction. They are the ones who drag you into unnecessary drama, constant complaining, or mediocrity. This type of relationship is an invisible mess. They aren't perceived as objects lying around a room, but their effect is just as real. They are emotional noise that clouds your vision. They trap you in destructive thought patterns, in bonds that sap your strength, in conversations that only generate exhaustion. Even if you try to ignore them, these toxic energies accumulate and weaken your capacity to grow. The first step is recognizing them. It doesn't matter how close someone is or how much time you've shared with them. If that relationship consumes you more than it gives you, it's time for a change. That doesn't always mean cutting ties completely, but it does mean setting clear boundaries and deciding who you give your time and energy to. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. Seek connections that expand your mind, give you a broader perspective, and push you out of your comfort zone. Walk alongside those who are committed to their own development and, at the same time, encourage you to grow. Because when you share your life with people who vibrate at a higher frequency, you inevitably do too. The conversations you have, the ideas you exchange, and the way you act begin to reflect this new version of yourself. Take stock. Reflect on who you spend most of your time with. Do these people help you grow, inspire you, or do they just keep you trapped in complaints, doubts, and excuses? Stop dedicating attention and energy to those who don't want to walk alongside you on your journey. Because every minute with them is a minute taken away from your purpose. This is essential work if you want to move forward. Learn to surround yourself with those who are aligned with your vision. Those who don't limit you, but rather propel you forward. Connect with those who push themselves, learn constantly, face their fears, and help you face yours. Do it now. Honestly examine the relationships in your life. Let go of those that don't add value. Set firm boundaries with those who drain your energy and start connecting with those who elevate you. Strengthen your energy and keep your focus. In the end, it's not just about what you do, but about what surrounds you. And if your relationships don't help you grow, inspire you, or challenge you, it's time to transform them. And in that same process, you will transform yourself as well. Chapter 8. Your body, your first system of order. Your body is the first organizational system you possess. It's the foundation, the instrument that makes it possible for you to achieve what you want. However, most people neglect it, subjecting it to constant abuse, passivity, and lack of care. We forget that if we don't protect this system, all our actions, thoughts, and goals will be profoundly impacted. If your body is out of shape, tired, inflamed, or lacking energy, how can you expect your mind to operate at its peak? How will you have the clarity to make crucial decisions or the strength to act if you don't take care of your physical condition? The body and mind cannot be separated. It's not about putting one above the other, because when one fails, the other suffers as well. Physical performance influences mental performance, and vice versa. When you take care of your physical fitness, you not only improve your appearance, but your thinking also becomes clearer, your actions more focused, your decision-making more accurate, and, above all, you have the energy to carry it out. Conversely, when the body is exhausted, sluggish, or malnourished, maintaining mental discipline becomes difficult. Motivation fades, and what once seemed important becomes an enormous burden. Movement is essential to unlocking your potential. Exercise isn't just about losing weight or building muscle. It also activates your mind. Every time you work out, you provide your brain with essential oxygen and nutrients for optimal performance. Engaging in physical activity, running, weightlifting, yoga, or another sport, is like rebooting your operating system. It's like refreshing your mind. It brings clarity, reduces stress, and improves your mood. After exercising, the answers to your problems become clearer. Emotions stabilize, and motivation grows. Nutrition is another essential pillar of your inner balance. What you eat is the fuel that powers your entire body. If you repeatedly choose junk food, sugary drinks, and processed products, you're sabotaging your ability to perform at your best. I'm not talking about extreme diets, but rather conscious choices about what you consume. Select foods that nourish both your body and mind. Eat in a way that keeps your energy levels stable throughout the day, your mind alert, and your digestion flowing smoothly. Don't underestimate the power of a balanced meal. The mind needs quality nutrients to be in harmony. And that starts with what you choose to put on your plate. And don't forget rest. Sleep is the great restorative that many sacrifice in their quest for more productivity. Rest is the foundation of everything. If you don't get enough sleep, if you don't give your body sufficient time to regenerate, your energy levels drop, your concentration suffers, and everything you do during the day will be burdened by fatigue. Sleeping well not only strengthens your body, it also boosts mental performance. Adequate rest reinforces memory, stimulates creativity, and gives you the clarity you need to face daily challenges. The question is, are you taking care of your body as your primary system of control? Are you investing in your physical health so your mind can reach its full potential? If not, you're fooling yourself. You won't be able to succeed in anything you set your mind to if your body doesn't support you. Without a strong and healthy body, it's impossible to master your mind and unleash your full potential. In our ebook, The Power of the Mind, you'll find practical strategies to overcome your limitations, focus your attention, and transform your mindset into an unstoppable force for success. Click on the first pinned comment to get it right now. Otherwise, it will all become a tiring effort. The time has come to implement a physical plan that will strengthen you. It's not just about being in good shape, but about having the energy and clarity needed to achieve what you want. Start with small actions that will have a big impact. Move every day, exercise regularly, eat fresh, natural foods, stay well hydrated, get enough sleep. This isn't just superficial advice. It's a direct investment in your productivity, mental clarity, and emotional stability. Do it today. Choose to move, eat wisely, and rest properly. Not only will your body thank you, but your mind will also align with it and take you to a higher level. Chapter 9. Finances in Order. Mind at Peace. Your mental balance is linked to how you manage your money. What happens with your finances directly affects your emotional state. Economic chaos isn't simply a matter of numbers. It's a psychological burden, and if you don't manage your resources intentionally, you end up hurting yourself deeply. The stress of not knowing where your money is going, living paycheck to paycheck without a clear path, the constant worry of whether you'll be able to cover your expenses, all of this consumes your energy, your attention, and your peace of mind. The reality is this: most people remain trapped in a cycle of mere financial survival. They don't follow a plan. They only react to the immediate situation. It's not just about creating a budget or accumulating money aimlessly. The goal is to take absolute control of your finances, your economic life, with a strategic approach. And it's a decision that starts with you right now. If you don't take the reins, you'll end up enslaved by your money and by circumstances. If you don't manage what you have well, financial disarray will end up devouring you. True financial freedom isn't about accumulating millions, but about having peace of mind regarding your resources. Financial pressure leads to sleepless nights, anxiety, and hasty decisions. When you live in financial disarray, your thoughts are clouded by worry, blocking your ability to make clear and strategic decisions. No matter how many goals or dreams you have, if you don't control your finances, your mind won't have the space to propel you toward them. Mastering your finances is, first and foremost, an act of liberation. It's about being able to choose where your money goes, investing it in what truly matters to you, and preventing it from slipping away on unnecessary expenses or things that don't align with your goals. A structured financial system frees you from stress and gives you the clarity needed to think calmly and make firm decisions in other areas of your life. Without control over your resources, you'll remain trapped in the cycle of urgency, paying for the bare necessities, surviving until the next day, with no mental space to reflect on what you truly want. Start with a clear vision of your financial situation. You can't control what you don't understand. Dedicate time to reviewing your income, expenses, debts, and savings. If you don't know where your money is going, you lose control. Whether you have a little or a lot, the first step toward order is clarity. It's like tidying your surroundings. Only when you see exactly what you have can you organize it. Once you achieve that clarity, design a plan. A budget isn't a cold list of numbers. It's a strategy. It's consciously deciding how you'll spend, how much you'll save, which debts you'll pay off, and where you'll invest. Each month should be an opportunity to move toward your financial vision, not a struggle to survive. Saving is another essential pillar. Just getting by from day to day isn't enough. Saving offers you security, freedom, and the ability to make calm decisions. It's not just about putting money aside, but about building a fund that frees you from the constant pressure of uncertainty. A financial cushion not only offers protection, but also lightens your mind of unnecessary burdens. This mental ease is key to your success in all aspects of life. But it's not all about saving. You must also learn to invest. Investing is putting your money to work for you. It's not about risking everything you have, but about making smart decisions that generate additional income or bring you closer to your goals. Investing in your education, your health, experiences that enrich your life, or projects that expand your resources puts you in a position to grow. And finally, eliminate financial clutter. If you have debts, create a plan to pay them off. Don't let them accumulate. Financial chaos is an invisible burden weighing on your mind and pulling you away from what truly matters. Confront it immediately with determination, responsibility, and strategy. Every debt paid off is a victory. Every unnecessary expense eliminated is a step toward freedom. Do it today. Take back control of your money. Don't let financial chaos control you. Get your accounts in order. Make conscious decisions and watch your mind free from anxiety and tension. Financial freedom begins with a first step: the decision to organize what you own today to build the life you want tomorrow. Chapter 10. Conscious technology. An ally or a constant distraction? Today we live in a time when technology is everywhere. In your hands, in your pocket, in your home, at your job. It has changed the way we live and transformed how we relate to, work with, and communicate with the world. But, as with any power, it all depends on how you choose to use it. Technology can become your best friend or your worst enemy. And it all comes down to one thing: intention. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you check your phone for no real reason? How many hours do you dedicate to apps that don't add value? How much of your day vanishes in front of a screen without you even realizing it? Technology is like a river. It can carry you where you want to go or drag you into turbulent currents that pull you away from your goals. The problem isn't technology itself, but how you use it. Don't assume that everything that appears on your screen is important. This resource can be an extraordinary tool for organizing yourself, learning, growing, and connecting authentically with others. However, it can also become a constant distraction that consumes your attention, scatters your focus, and blocks your progress on what truly matters. It's like walking through a maze that never leads you anywhere. The first step is identifying what technology takes from you. Every alert, every message, every like or retweet are fragments of your energy and time. Technology isn't impartial. Apps and platforms are designed to hook you, to keep you trapped in an endless cycle of consumption. If you don't take control, you'll end up in a rut where you finish the day without having taken a single step toward what you truly value. The key is conscious use. Technology should be a tool, not the center of your life. The only way to prevent it from dominating you is to give it a defined purpose. Ask yourself, am I using this tool to move closer to my goals? Or am I simply letting it distract me? If you can't come up with a clear answer, you're relinquishing control. Set rules for yourself. Use organizational apps like calendars, lists, or reminders, but avoid becoming a slave to your device. If something isn't helping you progress, delete it. Set limits on social media use or other unnecessary distractions. Do this with the same firmness you use to manage your time or money. That's an act of personal power. Letting technology control you is weakness. Using it intentionally is an act of freedom. Use technology to strengthen your mind and abilities too. There are countless resources that can help you grow. Online courses, podcasts that provide knowledge, apps that guide you in meditation or exercise. Don't forget that it can be a powerful ally in your personal development. Used well, it can become your most effective tool for organizing, learning, and improving yourself. The key is to consume what nourishes you instead of getting swept away by digital noise. Stop for a moment and reflect. How much of your day is lost to digital distractions? How much time do you devote to content that adds nothing? You must understand that this time is gone forever. Every minute in front of a screen could be invested in your projects, your well-being, your family, or your personal growth. Redirect that energy toward what truly matters. Don't let technology decide for you. Take the reins. Leverage its tools to organize your life and keep your mind focused. Don't let it consume you. Do it today. Take a few moments to evaluate how you use technology daily. Is it under control or chaos? Does it propel you toward your goals or trap you in constant procrastination? The decision is in your hands. And if you make it intentionally, you'll be one step closer to a focused and balanced life. Chapter 11. When anger takes hold, observe yourself honestly. How many times have you said or done something in the heat of a fit of rage and later regretted it? How many times have you let that primal, irrational, and harsh emotion sweep you away like an untamed wave? Anger doesn't represent strength or authority. It's a weakness disguised as impulse. It's the hidden adversary within you that convinces you're right, that you must explode, that you must destroy. And if you don't take control, you believe it and end up being its puppet. The first truth you must accept, without excuses or embellishments, is that when you get angry, you lose. You lose control. You lose clarity. You lose respect. You lose power. You aren't stronger by shouting, slamming a door, or writing a message full of passive-aggressive poison. You become weaker. You surrender. You relinquish your self-control. You hand over the helm of your life to an emotion devoid of thought, driven only by reaction. Reflect on this. Imagine that every time someone irritates you, they manipulate you at will, as if they were carrying you in their pocket. Is that what you want? To be so predictable, so easily ignited like a match? No one has the power to enrage you without your permission. And if they do, it's because you granted it. Anger doesn't come from the outside. Even if you try to excuse yourself with phrases like, "They drove me crazy. They provoked me. I can't stand them." It's really you. It's your interpretation, your lack of self-control. And you didn't come here to have your ego stroked. You came to transform yourself, to stop being an emotional victim. Look around you. We all know that colleague who explodes over everything, shouts in meetings, makes annoyed gestures, argues over trivial matters, or the parent who loses their temper with their children over the smallest mischief, or the partner who turns every disagreement into a battlefield. It's pathetic. They live dominated by reactivity, unfiltered, slaves to an emotion that offers no respite. And the worst part is, they believe they're right simply for expressing themselves, for letting out what they feel. But what they're really revealing is their inability to govern themselves, their servitude, because that's what they are when rage takes over. Slaves, force yourself to look at your anger with shame, not pride. Don't make excuses. You're not braver or more honest for exploding. You're less in control of yourself. You lose yourself. You've relinquished your role as the driver of your life and are left only as a screaming passenger as the car crashes. We don't control what happens, but we do control how we respond. That's your responsibility, no one else's. There's no valid justification for losing your temper, none. Because every time you do, you're declaring to the world, "I'm weak. I can be manipulated. I can't control myself." Do this. The next time you feel that spark igniting in your chest, don't act. Stop, breathe, stay still. Count to 10, 20, however many you need. Why? Because in that pause lies your freedom. In that moment of respite, you decide whether you remain in control or surrender to anger. You don't need to raise your voice to be strong. Remember to follow us on our TikTok account at DiaryOStoit and on our other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and Twitter. You don't need to destroy to demonstrate strength. What you need is character, composure, and discipline. Do you want to be someone worthy of respect, someone admired? Learn to master your most instinctive reaction, the one everyone shares but almost no one overcomes. You are not an animal, not a child who needs to be calmed. You are an adult seeking to live with purpose, with direction, with authentic power. And authentic power doesn't shout, doesn't slam doors, doesn't react. It responds. Start now. Observe yourself Anger doesn't disappear in a day, but you can begin to see it for what it is. An inner betrayal, a deceitful, exaggerated, distorted emotion. And you, who have decided to stop living as a slave to your impulses, cannot afford to obey it. End this chapter with a promise. You will never again justify your anger. You will study it, you will confront it, and above all, you will train yourself every day so that it doesn't overwhelm you. You didn't come into this world to react like most people. You came to master yourself like few others. Now act. Write in the comments. Today, I choose calm over anger. It's not just a phrase, it's a commitment to yourself. Every time you write it and make it public, you are reprogramming your mind. You are affirming that you will no longer be a slave to your emotions, that you will take control of your life, and nothing and no one will throw you off balance. You wait, you always wait. You wait for understanding, respect, reciprocity, justice, recognition, love. You wait for things to go according to your plan, for people to act as you think they should. And when it doesn't happen, because it often doesn't, it hurts. Something inside breaks. The image you'd created for yourself shatters, and dark emotions emerge. Disappointment, sadness, frustration, anger. But here's the truth you refuse to hear. That pain doesn't come from reality. It comes from you. It stems from your expectation, from clinging to an idea that was never within your control to secure. Do you see it? It's not the other person who hurts you. It's not fate that punishes you. It's your blind hope, your mental script, your obsession with controlling what cannot be controlled. Pretending that the world will dance to your tune is a sure recipe for suffering. The root of your unease isn't in what happens, but in what you expected to happen. And when reality doesn't match your dreams, you crumble. Not because the world failed you, but because you assume the world owed you something. Life doesn't owe you explanations. People weren't born to fulfill your plans. Things don't adapt to your desires simply because they exist. The most absurd thing is taking personally what has nothing to do with you. The friend who doesn't call, the promotion that never comes, the apology you don't receive, the loyalty that doesn't appear, the love that doesn't blossom. Then you entrench yourself in your pain. You victimize yourself. You become bitter. Wake up. Let go. Free yourself from that trap of waiting for what doesn't depend on you. It's the only way to live in peace. Think. How many times have you ruined your day because of something beyond your control? How many times did you expect someone to act a certain way, and when they didn't, you experienced it as a personal attack? It wasn't an attack. It was life being life. It was others being themselves, not what you needed. It's like asking the sea to be calm because you don't want to get wet. It's useless. It's childish. It's a mistake you pay for with suffering. You must accept it. You are responsible for your expectations, no one else. It's not about giving up on dreaming or imagining, but about learning to desire without clinging, to hope without demanding, to dream without turning those dreams into your emotional prison. Do you want to reduce your pain? Turn down the volume of your expectations. Stop seeking perfection in an imperfect world. Stop assuming that everything you give will be returned in kind. Life isn't a scale measuring justice according to your calculations. It's a flowing river, and you decide whether you swim with it or drown in your resistance. How do you train yourself to do this? Every time something hurts, ask yourself, what did I expect to happen? Was it reasonable? Was it within my control? Almost always the answer will be no. Then take a deep breath and let go. Don't cling to what doesn't arrive. Don't build your happiness on what you can't control. Become strong not by hardening yourself, but by letting go of illusions. Become wise not by accumulating more knowledge, but by learning to expect less. Train your mind to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be, and you will discover peace. Not because everything is in order, but because you will no longer demand that it be. That is the secret of the wise. The less you expect, the more you are grateful. The less you cling, the freer you live. You are not here to collect disappointments, but to let go of illusions. Stop waiting for what doesn't come. Start accepting what is. That is where true strength begins. Anger doesn't arise from nothing. It's not a spontaneous spark. It needs fuel, an internal trigger. And that fuel is almost always your ego. Yes, your ego. The one that demands attention, respect, recognition. The one that gets offended when it isn't greeted, when it isn't agreed with, when its actions aren't valued. That voice that screams, "How dare you? You can't treat me like this. I deserve better." That inflated ego that lives inside you, like a spoiled child who's bothered by everything. Look at it closely. That's the true source of many of your outbursts. It's not that you were actually disrespected. It's that you believed you deserved more than you received. It's not that someone was unfair. It's that you expected to be treated like the star. The ego demands. It believes it's special. And when reality doesn't confirm it, it burns up and drags everyone else down with it. Anger is what happens when the ego doesn't get what it craves. It's a sophisticated tantrum, an internal scream from someone who thinks they're more important than they are. That's why you get angrier with those close to you, with those who should understand you. Because your ego feels betrayed, not by the act itself, but by not receiving the validation it expected. Does this sound familiar? It should. Think about the last time you lost control. What truly hurt you? It wasn't the action itself, but what you interpreted it to mean about you. You were ignored, and your ego whispered, "They don't value you." You were corrected, and it said, "They're humiliating you." There, you were let down, and it screamed, "You're not enough." You see, anger is the armor the ego uses to avoid feeling hurt. But there's a problem. When you act from the ego, you're not yourself. You're a reflection, a reaction, pure emotional theater. And the worst part, the more you feed it, the easier it is for you to explode. You'll be like gunpowder, ready to detonate every time someone doesn't follow your imaginary script. The ego needs to feel offended to sustain itself, and if you don't recognize this, you become its slave. That's why it's so dangerous. It pretends to protect you, but in reality, it makes you fragile, volatile, hypersensitive. The solution isn't to force the world to respect you more. That only feeds the beast. The real way out is to shrink your ego, deflate it, expose it, not to humiliate yourself, but to free yourself. Because by ceasing to believe that the universe revolves around you, you understand that many things aren't personal. They simply happen. They don't attack you. They don't ignore you. They don't seek to hurt you. They just don't fit the script your ego invented. Look at the truly strong. They don't need to prove anything. They don't react to every little thing. They don't get upset because someone gave them a dirty look or didn't mention them. Why? Because they don't feed that inner monster that demands validation. They have their ego under control, and that's not strength. It's mastery. Here's your task. Every time you feel anger, Ask yourself this uncomfortable question. Does this really matter? Or is my ego just hurt? Be brutally honest. Undress emotionally. Identify the imposter inside you who demands deference and, when they don't receive it, wants to shout, argue, destroy. And decide. Do you want to remain a slave to a wounded ego, or do you prefer emotional freedom? You can't have both. It's not about becoming insensitive, but about seeing clearly. When you observe your ego for what it is, hungry, fragile, manipulative, you can begin to defuse the bomb before it explodes. Remember, the bigger your ego, the smaller your peace. The more you depend on validation, the easier it is to ruin your day. Do yourself a favor. Deflate that balloon before it bursts in your face. You are not the center of the universe, and that's not a loss. It's your salvation. Chapter 12. Remember that you are going to die. Turn death into a driving force for living. There is one certainty we all share, but that almost no one dares to truly confront. You are going to die. You don't know when or how, but you are certain that it will happen. It is the only guarantee. Yet we act as if we have an eternity ahead of us. We postpone conversations, decisions, dreams, trips, transformations. We leave the essential for later. And meanwhile, life goes on. But what if you used that certainty as a driving force? What if, instead of fearing death, you saw it as a brutal and beautiful reminder that you are alive here and now? Remember that you are going to die, not as a threat, but as a call to awaken. It's not morbid curiosity, it's awareness. Because by understanding that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on the irrelevant. You discover that it's not worth carrying grudges, worrying about other people's opinions, or postponing your joy. Death gives meaning to existence. It's what fills it with urgency, courage, and direction. Think about the most intense moments of your life. Weren't they precisely those in which you felt that something could end? An unexpected goodbye, an accident that shook you, news that forced you to stop abruptly. In those moments, the superficial disappears. Only the essential remains. Who do you love? What do you dream of? What would you do if you knew your time was short? So, why wait for something like that to happen to live intensely? Look around you. How many people do you know who are simply surviving? Who spend their days repeating empty routines, trapped in jobs they hate, in lifeless relationships, in habits that drain them, and they tolerate it because they believe there's still time. Even though no one knows. No one knows. You are alive today. You breathe, you feel, you choose. That in itself is a miracle. Not everyone had that fortune this morning, nor will everyone have it tomorrow. Stop saying, "When I have more money, when I have more time, when I'm ready." Those phrases are traps of the ego to keep you paralyzed. No one feels completely ready to truly live, but you still have to. Make that call, write that message, take the step. Change course if you need to. Don't keep wasting your days on things that drain your soul. Start that project. Close the door on what you know is over. Tell the people you love them. Live in such a way that, if today were your last day, you wouldn't consider it a lost cause. It's not about living in fear. It's about living consciously, appreciating every moment, taking nothing for granted. Because death isn't the end. It's the mirror that reflects how you're using your life. And if you struggle to decide, if you hesitate, if you freeze up, remember this. One day you won't be here, And what seems so important today will mean nothing. The only thing that will matter is whether you lived authentically, whether you were honest with yourself, whether you loved, whether you created, whether you enjoyed life, whether you gave your best. Use that truth as strength. Don't deny it. Don't ignore it. Don't fear it. Remember that you are going to die, and precisely for that reason, live with more courage than ever before. Your mind is the place you inhabit every day, and if you don't take care of it, if you don't feed it the right things, if you don't watch what you let in, it becomes a hostile space. You can be in the most beautiful place in the world, but if your mind is full of noise, negativity, and chaos, there will be no peace. Understand this. What you consume, what you listen to, what you repeat, the people you surround yourself with, all of that shapes your way of thinking, your energy, and your ability to move forward. Many people are careful about what they eat, what they wear, what they show, but they don't watch what they allow into their minds. You spend the day watching news that fills you with fear. You follow accounts that make you feel inferior. You surround yourself with people who complain about everything, who criticize, who live with resentment. And then you ask yourself, why do I feel drained? Why do I lack motivation? Why is it so hard to move forward? It's obvious. You're absorbing mental garbage every day. It's not about ignoring reality or living in a positive bubble. It's about filtering, about consciously choosing which thoughts you feed and which people you allow around you. Because your environment influences you more than you think. And if you don't choose it, others will choose it for you. Think back. Reflect on your last conversations. Did they inspire you or drain you? Did they push you to be better or fill you with doubt? Were they spaces for growth or just for surviving? That's the difference between those who add to your life and those who subtract from it. And while you can't always distance yourself from everyone, you can decide how much you let them affect you. Seek to surround yourself with people who challenge you, who uplift you. People who, when you doubt yourself, remind you who you are, who don't mock your dreams, but push you to achieve them. And if you don't already have those people in your life, start becoming one of them. Because the energy you give is the energy you attract. Take care of your own thoughts, too. Because it's not just others who can contaminate you. Sometimes you're the one repeating unhelpful phrases to yourself. I can't, it's too late, I'm not enough. If you let them, they become truths, but they aren't. They're just thoughts, and you can change them. Train your mind. Don't wait for negativity to simply disappear. Read books that expand your horizons. Listen to content that inspires you. Meditate, write, question your beliefs. Clean your mind just like you clean your house. Because otherwise, it fills up with dust, broken things, and old noise, and nothing worthwhile can be built there. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds grow. If you cultivate it, it flourishes. You decide every day what you see, what you hear, who you talk to, what you allow. Do it with intention. Be the guardian of your peace of mind. Because if your mind is clear, strong, and focused, you can weather any storm. Remember, what you think becomes what you feel. What you feel becomes what you do. And what you do becomes your life. Take care of your origins. Take care of your mind. Surround yourself with thoughts and people who uplift you. Because you are the guardian of your inner world, and everything else depends on it. There are times when you feel that nothing makes sense anymore. You've tried, you've taken risks, you've taken steps, and yet you see no results. You start to think that maybe you're not cut out for this, that change is impossible, that no matter how hard you try, nothing works. And that's where the most dangerous trap appears. Believing that all is lost. But listen, It isn't. It never is. What happens is that you give up just when you should hold on a little longer. You mistake an obstacle for the final destination. And it isn't. It's just that, a difficult stretch, one more of the many you will cross if you truly want to build a different life. That voice that tells you that you won't make it, that it's not worth continuing, that everything will go wrong again, isn't you. It's fear, disappointment, the weariness of so many failed attempts. But it's not the truth, because if you look closely, you're still here, searching, wanting. That means that deep inside you, a spark remains, one that hasn't been extinguished. And that spark is enough. No one achieves their dreams without going through moments of doubt. Everyone who has gone far in any field, art, business, health, love, has at some point felt like they were wasting their time, that nothing would turn out right. But they didn't stop. They kept going. And that was the difference. Break free from the belief that nothing works, that everything is against you, that the universe has forgotten you. Because when you believe that, you stop acting. And by stopping acting, you sabotage yourself. It's a cycle that only you can break. Look back. Remember a situation in which you thought you wouldn't make it. And what happened? Here you are. You overcame it. You learned. You grew. Perhaps with scars, but stronger, wiser. So why do you think this time will be different? Why do you believe this difficulty is insurmountable? Do something different. Change the question. Instead of, why does nothing ever go right for me? Ask yourself, what can I do today, even something small, to get closer to where I want to be? Undinasi, because moving forward is what pulls you out of the pit. You don't need to have everything figured out, just take the next step. Just one. And if you fail again, it's okay. With a private stum, failing doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're learning how not to do it, that you're refining your path, because what seems useless today might be preparing you for something you haven't yet seen. Change your inner dialogue. When that voice appears saying, there's no way out, answer it. Maybe I haven't seen it yet, but I'm willing to find it. E70's Ria. Because if you decide to keep moving forward, if you choose to believe in yourself a little more each day, if you give yourself the chance to start over without dragging the old along, you will arrive. What seems dark today may just be the pause before a major turning point. But if you stop moving forward, you'll never know. All is not lost, much less you. You are in the process of rebuilding yourself, regaining trust, choosing yourself again. And even if it's not visible yet, it's already a form of victory. Life doesn't stop. The demands, the commitments, the emotions, everything seems to accelerate around you. The noise doesn't cease, the responsibilities pile up, and sometimes you feel caught in an uncontrollable whirlwind. Stress, anxiety, chaotic thoughts pull you in, and you wonder how to get out. But listen, the chaos doesn't disappear, but you can learn to find calm within it. You don't need to wait for circumstances to change, for everything to get better, for everything to calm down. Peace isn't found in external circumstances, it's in how you choose to respond. One of the keys to maintaining your balance is learning to breathe and let go. It may sound simple, but it's a profound and transformative act. How many times have you been trapped in your thoughts, worried about the future or regretting the past? How many times have you let your emotions dominate you, drag you down? The first step to changing this is breathing. I'm not talking about the automatic breathing of everyday life, but conscious, slow, deep breathing. Every time you feel the weight of the world, pause and breathe. Feel the air enter and fill you. how your chest expands, how your mind clears. Inhale calm and exhale what you don't need. It's a reminder that you are alive, that you are in control, that everything will pass. And when anxiety overwhelms you, when you feel like you're drowning in everything that needs doing, remember something simple. Let go. Let go of the need to control every detail. Let go of the idea that chaos must disappear for you to be okay. Let go of the rush to fix everything. Everything has its time, and you can decide when to let go, when to release the pressure and weight of expectations. Circumstances are uncertain, people act unpredictably, plans can fail, but your reaction, your calm, is in your hands. No one can take that away from you if you don't allow it. In the midst of chaos, you can choose to stand firm, breathe, and move forward with clarity. Even chaos can be a teacher. Every challenge, every crisis, every overwhelming situation is an opportunity to practice your ability to let go. Ask yourself, do I really need to worry so much about this? What can I control right now? How can I return to calm? Do it in small pauses. Every time you feel lost, take a deep breath. Stop. Look around you and recognize that, even though the world is in turmoil, you are still here, making decisions. Letting go isn't surrendering. It's making space for serenity, acceptance, and gratitude. It will be difficult at first, I know. It's easier to get caught up in the storm of thoughts and emotions. But like everything that matters, it takes practice. Every time you let go, every time you choose not to be swept away, you're closer to a life where control lies not in external circumstances, but in your ability to remain calm. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed, do this. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of what no longer serves you. Release the stress, the anxiety, the fear of the future, because the only things that matter now are your breath, your inner peace, and your ability to move forward with clarity and confidence. Remember, life doesn't stop, but you can always find a space of calm, even in the midst of the storm. Chapter 13. I protect my mind from external noise. What you choose to do when you open your eyes defines your true priorities. You either choose your peace or you choose the noise of the world. There is no middle ground. You either nourish your mind with serenity, direction, and purpose, or you throw it into chaos before you've even washed your face. Examine your routine closely. What do you do in those first 5 minutes of your day? Do you check your phone? Open Instagram? Check headlines? Read messages? Do you immerse yourself in other people's problems? If so, let me be blunt. You are surrendering your mind to the world at the moment it is most fragile, most receptive, most open. You are allowing external voices to dictate your attention, your mood, and your path, before you have even decided how you want to think, feel, or act. That is insane. And yet millions do it every day. But you didn't come here to live like most people. You came here to lead, and to lead you must protect. Your mind is a temple, not a marketplace. The first few hours are sacred territory. Don't let the noise penetrate. When Fenterly, they didn't get up to read what others were thinking or absorb misfortunes, arguments, or collective anxiety. They began with silence, reflection, and intention, because they knew that a mind bombarded from the start can never concentrate. And you've experienced it. Those days when you wake up and don't touch your phone, when you enjoy a quiet coffee, take a walk, write, or reflect. You feel in control, clear, centered, unlike those other days when you throw yourself into the digital whirlwind and already feel tired before you even begin, irritated and scattered. Do you really want to live like that? Then draw a firm line. The first hour is only yours, not the world's, not social media's, not the opinions of others. Only you, your space, your energy, your focus. That's not selfishness, it's self-respect, it's self-control. Difficult, yes. Checking your phone is addictive, feeling informed, like you're not missing anything. But what's essential isn't the external, but the internal. How you are, what you need, what your purpose is for this day. And for that, you need silence, presence with yourself. Because if you're not with yourself in that first hour, you'll spend the day searching for yourself without finding yourself. Do it. Leave your phone far from your bed. Don't check it until you've done at least 3 things just for you. Breathe, write, move, visualize, give thanks, read something valuable. The order doesn't matter, the intention does. What matters is that you're the one who enters your mind first, not the noise. If something urgent happens, you'll know. The world doesn't stop because you don't open Twitter at 6:45 inches the morning. But your energy is contaminated, your attention is fragmented, and your spirits are drained. The rule is this: no one touches your mind before you do. No one enters without your permission. Not social media, not messages, not noise. You decide who you let in and what thoughts you feed. Because this isn't just any morning. It's the start of a mental battle. And to win it, you must be awake, clear-headed, and strong. Protect your mind as the most valuable thing you have, because it is. When you manage to shield yourself from distractions, you'll see the change. You'll feel lighter, calmer, more focused, and in control of your day. That's the goal. Not to live reacting, but choosing. Not to run after the world, but to steer it from your center. Today starts with you, not with them. Today, protect your mind, because no one else will do it for you. Did you know that the first thing you say when you wake up can set the tone for your day? Yes, the first words, thoughts, and emotions. And yet, many people start by complaining about the alarm, the bed, the time, the cold, the pending work, the week. They wake up with a negative mindset, dragging their energy through the mud of complaints. And we're not talking about major tragedies, but those small, repeated, and trivial complaints that push your mind into a dead end. Enough of that. You're not here to waste energy on what you can't control. You're not here to surrender your calm to the morning chaos. Because if you decide to complain the minute you wake up, you've already relinquished control and become a victim of circumstances. And that's unacceptable. Today you choose differently. Today you choose not to give in to complaints upon waking. Not because everything is perfect, but because you don't need to start the day carrying negativity. It's a matter of choice. If you don't consciously decide not to complain, the victim mentality will take over. But you are not a victim of anything. You are the creator of your experience. This doesn't mean ignoring what you don't like. It means exercising your mental power, protecting your energy from the very first contact with the day. Instead of complaining about what's missing, focus on what you can control. Your attitude. Every morning you enter an invisible battlefield. Negative thoughts arrive like a wave, and if you don't tame them, they grow unchecked. They start with a simple, "I don't want to get up," and soon your mind constructs a narrative about everything that's wrong. Before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction before you even get out of bed. That's why the first rule is, Don't complain. Don't let your mind start off negatively. If a complaint arises, change it instantly. If you think, "I hate getting up early," replace it with, "I'm grateful to have this new day to take action." If you think, "I don't want to go to work," change it to, "I'm going to seize this opportunity to contribute." What happens when you do? You regain control of your mindset, and that empowers you to master the day. It's a small adjustment, but with a huge impact. Imagine that every morning, instead of sinking into pessimism, you choose to be intentionally positive. Imagine your energy transforming when, instead of dragging yourself through the day with complaints, you wake up with an attitude of possibility. Stop thinking it's normal to complain when you wake up. It isn't. It's a habit you allowed, and like any habit, you can change it with commitment. Remember, the first minute is yours to own. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. Don't let anyone or anything steal that moment of clarity. It won't be easy. There will be mornings of tiredness, frustration, or the urge to blame the world. But it's precisely there that your character is revealed. There, you decide not to give in. There, you demonstrate that you control what you think, what you feel, and how you face the day. You are not a slave to your thoughts. They are just thoughts, and you are bigger than them. Make a pact with yourself. Every morning when you wake up, zero complaints, no focusing on what's missing. On the contrary, think about what you have. A new day, a new opportunity, a new beginning. Are you going to let your mind sabotage you? Or are you going to rise up and take control with power? The decision is yours. Today, you choose not to complain. Today, you choose to conserve your energy. Today, you decide what story you tell the world and yourself. And that story begins with something simple, yet powerful. Today, I choose to be at peace. Today, I choose to be grateful. Today, I choose to move forward. Will you? Of course you will. Because you are the master of your mind. And that is enough to master your day. Before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions, before external demands steal your attention, you have immense power. Visualization. Imagine for a moment that you are the architect of your day, the creator of your results. What you imagine achieving becomes your internal map to act with clarity, confidence, and determination. Stop, close your eyes, breathe, and visualize what you want to conquer today, what your first victory will be. These aren't distant dreams. This is what you can achieve this very day. The clarity with which you visualize it will guide your steps. Visualization isn't fantasy. It's strategy. Your mind doesn't distinguish between what's imagined and what's lived. By visualizing, you create an internal map of success, action, and achievement. And when the mind has a clear vision, body and emotions align. What does this mean? If you have an important meeting, imagine in detail how you'll speak confidently, how you'll convey your ideas with strength and clarity. Imagine the satisfaction of everything going well. If you have to face a difficult task, visualize each step, each obstacle you'll overcome, and how you'll move forward with determination. If your goal is personal, like improving your health or creating a project, imagine the process with clarity. You're programming yourself for success. It's not magic. It's science. By visualizing, you activate the same neural networks you would use when actually taking action. Your mind and body become accustomed to success. So, when the moment arrives, you don't improvise. You're already prepared. Imagine yourself in a job interview. Instead of anxiety, visualize confidence, calm answers, and complete presence. Do it in such detail that it feels real. The result? When that moment arrives, you'll act naturally. Visualization strengthens you and gives you an advantage. You'll act like someone who has already succeeded before. Furthermore, visualization not only prepares, it also focuses. Dedicating a few minutes each morning to imagining your success aligns your purpose, reinforces goals, and eliminates doubts. You begin with certainty. You know what to do, how to do it, and why to do it. But remember, imagining isn't enough. Without action, it doesn't work. Visualization prepares you. Discipline takes you to the goal. If you imagine a task completed, then do it with that same energy. Visualization also regulates emotions. If stress or distraction strikes, that image will be your anchor. Remember what you dreamed of achieving. Remember how you felt when you visualized it. That vision will be the spark that ignites your action even in the midst of chaos. Do it every morning. Before plunging into the whirlwind of tasks, take a few minutes to visualize your success. Imagine yourself achieving your goals, acting with determination, handling challenges with ease. It's not just about imagining. It's about recognizing that everything is already within you, that each step brings you closer to that more confident and clear version of yourself. That version is already on its way. What will you achieve today? Imagine it vividly and then go out and do it. Chapter 14. The Art of Not Reacting. Breathe. Remain still. Do nothing. Is it difficult for you? I understand. Because your immediate impulse is to respond. Defend yourself. Strike back. Blurt out any word instantly. The first thing that comes to mind. Because you think that if you don't react, you lose. That if you remain silent, the other person wins. That if you don't assert your voice, they'll walk all over you. That's false. Reacting without thinking is what those who lack control do. Those who are still subject to their emotions like leaves blown by the wind. But you're here to be different, to cultivate the supreme art of inner mastery. Non-reaction. Yes, art. Because it's not about repressing or enduring until you explode, but about elegance, serene power, emotional intelligence used like a master, uses their technique with intention, precision, and mastery. By not reacting, you gain time, and in that interval, you breathe, think, decide. That's where the difference lies with the impulsive, the immature, those who always defend themselves without restraint. You're not like that. You're not an uncontrolled animal. You're a disciplined mind, and that's evident in your ability to stop. Imagine this. You're arguing. The other person utters a hurtful phrase, a provocation. Your body reacts instantly. Your heart races. Your muscles tense. Your pride demands an immediate reaction. But no, you don't. You remain silent. You look at her. You breathe. You let her talk to herself if necessary. That's not weakness. It's absolute control. It's art. Not reacting doesn't mean apathy. It means wisdom. It's understanding that not everything deserves your energy, that not everything is worth your peace, that some battles are won without even engaging in them, that silence often wounds more than 1,000 words. Learn this. Every immediate reaction is a trap. When you respond without thinking, you do so from emotion. And unchecked emotion never chooses well. Emotion doesn't want justice, it wants revenge. It doesn't seek balance, it seeks release. But you're not here to vent uselessly. You're here to master yourself, to transform yourself. Listen carefully. Non-reaction is a form of superiority, not because you're better than others, but because you've raised your consciousness above impulse. You've stopped acting like a puppet of your impulses. You've trained your mind to choose the moment, the tone, and the strategy. You don't fire without aiming. You don't react reflexively. You decide, and in that decision lies true power. Don't confuse this practice with passivity. Not reacting doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It means postponing your response until it's filled with clarity, not anger. It's waiting for the moment when you can act intelligently, not with emotional violence. Sometimes you'll respond firmly. Other times you'll choose to withdraw, but always with self-control. Want an exercise? Do it for the next 7 days. Every time something upsets you, a word, an attitude, an injustice, don't respond immediately. Force yourself to pause for at least 5 seconds. Breathe. Observe what you feel. Ask yourself, does this require a response? Is it worth it? Am I defending myself? Or is it just my wounded ego taking over? With just that, you'll notice the difference. You'll see how your mind sharpens, how it's freed, because those who don't react think more clearly. You'll rest better, live better, and if you stay on this path, you'll become someone who doesn't act on impulse, but from inner mastery. Someone who doesn't need to raise their voice to assert themselves. Someone who knows when to speak, when to act, when to let go. That is true power. That is true mastery. And if you choose to practice it, it can become your natural state. Master your impulses. Don't react. Act only when you decide to. That's where your freedom begins. That's where your art begins. Do you know what happens when you get angry? It's not the other person. It's not what they say or do. The trigger is within you. In who you are, or rather, in who you believe you are. In the emptiness you carry, in the insecurity that accompanies you like a shadow, sometimes without you even noticing. Anger doesn't arise from what others do, but from what you haven't given yourself. Anger is born when your inner self is empty. And empty doesn't mean lacking material things or people around you, but rather a lack of acceptance, self-love, and confidence. It's the absence of peace with who you are. When you don't feel enough, you interpret any word, gesture, or silence as a threat, because inside you there's a wound, a space of insecurity that explodes when touched. When you feel whole, nothing external can affect you like that. A taunt rolls off like water off a stone. A criticism doesn't hurt because it doesn't confirm anything you fear about yourself. But when you're not at peace with yourself, every word feels like a blow. Every look like a judgment. Why? Because you perceive yourself as vulnerable, lacking. Think about the last time you got angry for no good reason, when someone said something you would normally have ignored. That day your wounded ego jumped, because deep down you feel you're not enough. They attack you, reject you, belittle you, and what happens is that the wound you haven't healed reopens. Then you shout, you defend yourself, you react with fury, as if the enemy were the other person, when in truth it's within you. It's clear, anger is a mirror. You don't see what the other person is doing, but what you haven't forgiven yourself for. Criticism doesn't hurt if you accept yourself as you are. Indifference doesn't wound if you've already given yourself the recognition you seek. Rejection doesn't harm if you know, with certainty, that your worth doesn't depend on external opinions. But if you can't look in the mirror and see something worthwhile, any gesture becomes a threat to your self-esteem. And there lies the vicious cycle. When you feel vulnerable, you defend yourself. You believe the world is attacking you when it's you who is attacking yourself. Because the real enemy is within. It's that inner voice that repeats, "You're not enough. You never will be. You don't deserve what you dream of." That emptiness screams. And that's why you react with fury instead of calm. What to do? First, recognize that external circumstances don't cause your anger. Your anger stems from what you think about yourself. If you're not at peace with yourself, external factors will only reflect your insecurities. Do you want to stop fighting with the world? Start working on your inner self. If you don't fill yourself with acceptance, self-love, and certainty in who you are, you'll remain a minefield ready to explode at any moment. Anger fades when you stop attacking yourself, when instead of looking at yourself with contempt, you observe yourself with compassion. Instead of focusing on what's missing, focus on what you already have. And above all, accept yourself with your flaws, mistakes, and insecurities, because only from there can peace arise. The key isn't fighting what angers you, but understanding that if it affects you, it's because there's still something inside that needs healing. That's your work. You can't delegate it to others. No one else can give you what you deny yourself. Anger will disappear when you accept yourself unconditionally. When you stop seeking external approval and begin to give yourself the security you desire. The next time something upsets you, stop. Ask yourself, why does this hurt me? What insecurity does this situation touch? And do so with wisdom. Embrace your vulnerability without guilt. Acknowledge it, and remember that only what you feel inside can govern you. Work on healing that, and the anger will dissipate. Stop looking for peace outside. Find it within yourself. Your brain is not cement. It is not fixed or immutable. It is malleable, flexible, constantly transforming. What you think, what you feel, and what you do shapes your mind. Every time you react with anger, you reinforce a pattern. You create deep pathways that lead you to the same place. Explosion, chaos, lack of control. But listen, that can change. Imagine that instead of shouting, you stop, breathe, and act with serenity. At first, that pause will seem fake, forced, as if you're faking it, even uncomfortable. That's okay, it's normal. You're creating new pathways in your brain. You're teaching it a different way of being. Because just as anger becomes a habit, so does calmness. And here's the key. It's all about conscious repetition. Every time you choose not to explode, every time you breathe before reacting, you train your brain to make that your natural response. What initially requires effort transforms into automatic behavior. Neuroplasticity isn't just a complicated concept. It's a powerful tool in your favor. It empowers you to stop being a hostage to your emotions and become the architect of your reactions. You decide how to respond. And with patience, that calm that now seems forced will become your natural way of acting. It's not about repressing what you feel, but about choosing how to proceed in response to what you feel. Calm doesn't mean the absence of emotions, but rather a different way of responding, one that, with practice, becomes a part of you. With each attempt, with each deep breath, you mold a new brain, a brain that adapts, that learns, that knows there's another way to face life. So don't give up if you stumble at first. Don't punish yourself if you relapse into old patterns. It's normal. Change takes time. But with consistency, what requires effort today will be spontaneous nature tomorrow. Calm will cease to be work and will become your natural reaction. That's your training. Choose calm. Do it today, tomorrow, and always, until your brain no longer knows how to do it any other way, and then you will be free. Because, in the end, it doesn't matter what the world does to you, it matters what you choose to do with it. Chapter 15. The Power of Love versus Anger. Anger never appears without reason. It feeds on negativity, on what irritates you, on what disappoints you. Injustice, lack, broken promises, things that didn't go as planned, all of that becomes fuel for the fire of anger. However, there is another option. There is a way to extinguish that fire before it becomes an explosion. That way is love. Yes, what seems like a gentle response to the harshness of anger, but love has enormous power. Love changes the way you see things. When you choose to observe with love, when you decide to focus on what you possess, on what is good and positive, that consuming emotion fades away. Love reminds you what truly matters, and it's not your pride or your desire to always be right. What truly matters is above all that, your inner peace, your connection with others, respect, and humanity. The worst thing about anger is that it robs you of what is essential. It makes you get lost in pointless arguments, in details that don't change the overall picture. Anger distracts you from what you should really be protecting, your heart. Because when you let anger take over, you not only lose control, you also lose what is most precious. You stop perceiving the other person as a human being and see them only as an obstacle, as an enemy. But if you choose love, all of that transforms. You remind yourself that there is something greater than conflict. Empathy, understanding, comprehension. Love doesn't come alone. Gratitude accompanies it, because you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. Gratitude takes you out of the confrontation, places you in the present, anchors you in what is essential, and allows you to look beyond what is missing or what didn't go as planned. Gratitude reminds you that in the midst of everything, there are always reasons to be thankful. Perhaps it's not the outcome, perhaps it's not the other person's behavior, but there is always something within you or around you worthy of gratitude. Imagine this. You're in the middle of an argument, in a situation that would normally have caused you to lose control. Pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what do I love here? What can I be grateful for right now? Even if things aren't perfect, even if the conflict continues, you'll be surprised by what you can find. Perhaps it's the self-love you demonstrate by staying calm. Perhaps it's the opportunity to learn, grow, and modify your reaction. Maybe it's simply the fact that you have the capacity to give love instead of responding with anger. Serenity arises when we stop defending our ego, when we let go of the obsession with being right, and begin to protect what truly matters, our heart. It's not about winning a war, but about preserving what's inside you, maintaining peace, and letting love guide your decisions. When love enters the picture, anger loses its power. The problem remains, but you change. Your perspective transforms, and so does your response. The conflict ceases to be a battle to be won and becomes a situation you can resolve with calm, respect, and empathy. That's when serenity settles into your life, when you stop responding with your ego and start responding with your heart. Today, choose love, choose gratitude, and you'll see how, over time, anger dissolves. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've decided to look at it from a different perspective. And when you change, everything changes. No isn't a villain. It's not something to be feared, nor a forbidden word. Saying no is an act of self-love. And no, it's not a lack of kindness or rejection of others. It's the most authentic respect you can have for yourself. Because when you don't know how to set boundaries, when you allow others to cross your borders without saying a word, you're not being kind, you're neglecting yourself. Anger arises when you don't know when to stop. It appears when you let things go beyond what you can tolerate. And instead of acting proactively, of setting a boundary, You bottle up the discomfort until it explodes. Frustration builds up. And anger is nothing more than the consequence of not saying enough when it was necessary. Courage lies in saying no without guilt or regret. No isn't a rejection of people, but of what you don't want, what doesn't nourish you, what doesn't respect you. Are you afraid to say no? Are you worried that others will misinterpret it? Then it's time to reflect. If you always say yes, of course, it doesn't matter. I'll do it for you. Who is taking care of you? Who respects your peace? Not everything others ask for deserves a yes. Not all relationships deserve your energy. Respect begins with oneself. If you don't know how to set a clear boundary, you allow others to define the terms of your life. And when they do, the strain is inevitable. Peace is lost. And the worst part is that you often don't realize it until anger or resentment overwhelms you. Boundaries aren't walls. It's not about building barriers that isolate you. Boundaries mark spaces. They firmly define what you accept and what you don't. It's not harshness. It's clarity. It's taking control of your life and showing the world what is acceptable to you. Serenity and peace begin when you establish your own rules. If you don't value yourself, no one else will. If you don't learn to say no, to set firm boundaries, others will do it for you. But without the same respect you should give yourself. Don't let the world decide who you are, what you need, or what you can endure. Only you are responsible for that. So, what to do? Practice saying no firmly. Say it when it's not the right time, when your peace is at stake, when what's being asked of you isn't fair. The first time will be difficult, the second time too, but with time, it will become easier and more natural. When you allow yourself to say no without guilt, you are actually inviting peace into your life. The true value lies in understanding that setting boundaries is not selfishness, but a necessity. It's not being rude or indifferent. It's protecting your energy and well-being. It's declaring, I value my time, my peace, and my life, and I will not allow them to be destroyed because I don't know how to say no. So start practicing the art of saying no today. Do it calmly, respectfully, and lovingly. Because when you respect yourself, others will learn to do so as well. And when you manage to protect your space, to define what you accept and what you don't, peace will be yours. The world is chaos, a continuous noise that never stops. Opinions, criticisms, provocations, demands, misunderstandings, tensions. Everything around you seems to demand your attention, as if every word or gesture deserves a reaction. But what happens when you respond to everything? You end up exhausted, drained, and out of control over what truly matters. Every comment, every criticism, every provocation feels like a battle you must fight. But not everything deserves a response. Wisdom lies in choosing your battles. And this doesn't mean indifference or submission. It means being smart with your energy, learning to distinguish between what truly deserves your attention and what merely seeks to distract you. Most of the things that upset you today will be irrelevant tomorrow. So, why give them your peace? It's tempting to believe we must prove we're right, that every mistake must be corrected, that every criticism must be answered, but true strength isn't about appearing perfect or always having the right response. Real strength lies in the serenity to ignore what carries no weight, to let minor offenses pass. Silence is not weakness, it's power. When you choose not to react, when you decide to let go of the trivial, something wonderful happens. Your mind is freed. You stop being trapped in minor tensions, in distractions that pull you away from what's important. Every time you decide not to respond to what doesn't deserve your attention, You gain a little more peace and clarity. And when your mind is free of distractions, you can focus on what's essential: your purpose, your relationships, your well-being. Imagine that instead of responding immediately to every provocation, you pause. You give yourself a second to think if it's really worth it. Ask yourself, will this change anything in a week, a month, a year? If the answer is no, then don't waste your energy. Not everything deserves your attention. Learning to let go of the irrelevant is one of the most powerful acts of freedom you can practice. Remember, you don't have to control every situation or be the protagonist in every conversation. Serenity comes when you stop getting caught up in what has no value, when you allow comments and criticism to pass without affecting you. It's not about being insensitive, but about reserving your energy for what truly matters. Choose carefully where to focus your attention. Not every criticism, comment, or provocation deserves a response. Silence can be your most powerful answer. And when you practice it, your life becomes lighter, more focused, and more peaceful, because true strength lies in knowing when not to react. If you found this content valuable, we invite you to subscribe and like it to support us. Share it with your family or loved ones if you think it might be helpful to them. At the end, you'll find 2 additional video options we've selected to accompany you on your personal journey. Warmest regards,